What is up, my ninjas? Welcome to Joe Talk Blind Fire. This is going to be what my individual Joe Talk videos are going to be about, because I don't feel like doing a review on these guys. I just have a couple things I want to talk about. This is me testing out this new old format. You know, I'm going to have a piece of artwork, Blind Fire. That is the image for, you know, the video, and then I'm going to talk about whatever my subject is. And today my subject is the 50th anniversary 3-packs, 2 of the 3-packs. I think there were only 2, if I remember correctly. And we're going to talk about everyone except for the bat. I didn't get the bat. I just got everyone else. But I have a lot to say, so let's jump into it right now.
You know, it's like you can't beat a dead horse enough when it comes to Hasbro. But once again, I was hooked up by one of my ninjas, the illustrious TJ347. He has been pretty involved in my channel and, you know, helping get some things done, helping me make some things happen. So I couldn't find Shooter out here in my area, so he hooked me up with all these guys, with the exception of the standard Cobra Trooper that you see here from Pursuit of Cobra. I've had him for a while. But there is a reason for him being out there, and I will get to that shortly. But I'm watching reviews, and I'm seeing what people are saying about this set or these 2 sets, and I'm not impressed. It's the same old rhetoric. It's the same old, oh, it's great, Hasbro didn't have to do it, but they did, blah, 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 blah. And it's frustrating that that's what I'm hearing, because it's not a good enough reason to just let all the issues go. I'm going to just go directly into my issues, and I'll start with the female Cobra officer. Saw Viper is actually really dope, but I'll get to him in a sec. But female Cobra officer. Now, you would think, based on what a Cobra officer is supposed to be, which is why I have him out here, that she would follow that model very closely. You know what I mean? And by very closely, I mean to the T. There should be nothing on him that's not on her. And from the giddy up, she doesn't have the same kind of shirt, just skinnier because she's smaller than him, proportion-wise. Her helmet's a little bit different. She's got the Cobra officer helmet on with the little V thing on there. She, for some reason, does not have a head in which she has the face mask. I mean, we know that the Cobra troops are supposed to be faceless. And I know, in the episode that this character was, you know, I guess that people are trying to attribute this figure to, she pulled the mask off. And I think in many scenes, she didn't even wear the mask. It doesn't change shit. She's a Cobra trooper, female Cobra trooper. She should have the same thing going on here. Every other Cobra trooper has it. Why doesn't she have it? Why do her boots only lace up top here and they don't actually come down all the way like these? It looks like they used feet from another figure that was wearing you know, ankle high boots, like, you know, Scarlet or who else? Helix, or, you know, there's a couple others too, like Crimson Asp and all of them, or even several versions of the Baroness. It's like they used those feet because they were small and didn't even bother to look at how much does she line up with what a Cobra trooper is supposed to look like. She's not wearing gloves. She doesn't have the special joint in here. She doesn't have the same kind of harness, which would have been easy if you made a small one. They gave her a completely different harness. She comes with freaking Firefly, POC Firefly's, you know, backpack, complete with mines and shit. And it's like, what's she need this for? This isn't what Cobra troopers carry. This is specialized equipment right here. So they didn't even follow their own shit. I mean, they did give her the Dragunov, and, you know, many Cobra troopers come with this. But, I mean, that's where her similarities kind of end. I mean, she is in blue. It's not the same blue, but she's blue. I'm I'm just disappointed. And then, like, let's talk about the body itself. There are tons of issues on this body. So I already mentioned that she does not have the hidden joint that we are used to as of POC in her hands. So she's got 25th anniversary hands. I've already pointed out her feet. She's got those old school, like, you know, riding boot feet instead of combat boot feet. This torso is long as fuck. It looks like it belonged to a different figure, and they just kit bashed it into this figure because the bottom part of the belt looked similar to their bottom part of their belt. I don't get it, you know? And then, you know, she has the Firefly leg instead of the Cobra Trooper leg. What's the deal with that, with the removable thing of dynamite? And I get it. They can have different specialties within the ranks of Cobra Troopers, but a trooper is a trooper. You know what I mean? They're basic. They're your faceless troops. And I know the community is going to say, oh, she's so awesome. They didn't have to give it to us, but they did. And, you know, the usual. But to be honest, it's still lacking, you know? I don't know. I was kind of like, really? I was expecting more. You know, she's not that amazing of a figure. She's very basic. The sculpt work feels like two different figures. The legs, you know, this is Firefly and Cobra Trooper. And then the upper body is like, I don't know, the Cobra, what was her name? It was the Baroness that was in her diving gear from the 25th anniversary. That's the vibe I get from this. It feels like an intern did this, because she lacks so much of the awesome detail that the Cobra Trooper actually had. You know, and then when you stand her next to a Cobra Trooper, or you stand her next to the Saw Viper, who obviously has parts from the Iron Grenadier and the Steel Brigade, she just doesn't line up, you know? So I don't know what the deal is. I don't get why so many people are so afraid to say, you know, this figure is kind of a piece of crap. Why did they do this? I want another one. I'm really thankful for them getting it, for my homeboy TJ347 picking that up for me. You know, I will use her. I'll find a place for her because she's a Cobra Trooper and you can always use troops. But Hasbro let us down again, man. And a lot of people aren't saying anything because, I don't know, maybe they're afraid. I don't know what the issue is. But they really let us down again. And, you know, it's just another one of those examples of lack of imagination. Because if you're going to kit bash, how many times do we see people kit bash, you know, better Cobra Troopers than this? Matter of fact, I will find some pictures and add them into this video while I'm talking about this right here. Or probably right after this portion where I say this. And you will see what I'm talking about. That there are fan-made customs that are better than this fucking figure.
And the scary thing is that these are all made from existing Joe parts. 25th anniversary and Resolute figures as well as POC parts. Hasbro has no excuse whatsoever. None.
Like 100% better than this figure. They should be ashamed of themselves for this shit. Even her face, when you take the helmet off, she has a very generic...
She just looks super generic. She looks like a poser model, like a basic ass poser model. Shit, even the features look similar to the one I just showed you. They didn't try to give her any character whatsoever, and that's why she should have just had the mask up.
She just has this really generic feel to her, and I'm very disappointed in that. I thought that for sure they would have went in a more like stylistic, you know, like a purposeful direction, where instead of just making her have like the colors and the, you know, the symbol and stuff, they would actually go through and make her fit in with the previous design. I mean, that's the Cobra Trooper that they've been selling us. Is this the Cobra Trooper from POC? And it's because it's fucking great. You know what I mean? It's not because they don't have other Cobra Trooper molds. I'm sure they have the 25th molds. They're easy to find at this point, so I don't get why, you know, she's so lackluster. It's like they just didn't care. you know? And I guess, you know, why would they care if you guys keep on saying you're cool with it? And I shouldn't say you guys because I'm not talking to my ninjas when I say that. I mean the usual suspects, the folks that usually say, oh, everything's awesome, you know? The vocal majority that are on His Tank and Generals Joe's and, you know, Terradrome and stuff. And constantly apologists, you know, constantly apologize for Hasbro, and they constantly buy up everything Hasbro makes. I mean, even look at how her helmet sits up on her head. You know, like look at his helmet and look at her helmet. It doesn't look right. It looks like it's too high up on her head. I don't know. She just doesn't quite fit what I would consider the Cobra aesthetic the way she should. Call me a stickler, call me a purist, call me, you know, whatever. But that's how I feel. Now, she can hold a gun fairly well. I don't need her to be like a crack shot and shit. I just need her to hold the gun that I give her. And I'm giving her this larger AK to compensate for how whack she is. Because most of my Cobra Troopers carry the standard AKs. They came with the Dollar General wave Cobra Troopers. So I have a whole bunch of those, and I bought a bunch from Marauders also. So, you know, I figure that will make up for the whackness that is this figure. So that's it for me when it comes to her. Let's move on. I want to talk about the Saw Viper. Now, the Saw Viper is a strange one for me because I didn't have the Saw Viper when I was a kid. Then I had one when I was older. I think I found one at a time when I was not collecting G.I. Joes. I gave them away. I still have the book, though, in which he killed, the issue in which he killed a whole bunch of Joes. He killed like 5 or 6, or he killed 3 and was blamed for 6 deaths. And then he was offed, and then you never really see him again, except in the cartoon. He was shown as a troop, like a type of Cobra Trooper, you know what I mean? I like him being one of a kind. Anyone can carry a saw, you know? It's a nickname for this gun here. But the fact that, you know, Cobra made him into a generic, well, the Dick series made him into a generic trooper, that bothers me because he should not be a generic trooper. He should be a one-of-a-kind type dude. He should be a little bit bigger than the standard guys. He should be stronger. And he should be carrying, you know, I don't know, modified shit. Now, for the most part, Homeboy is just a reuse of parts, you know. They keep on doing that a lot with these guys. He's a lot of Iron Grenadier parts, and then he comes with just about everything that Ultimate Roadblock came with. And then because of that, he comes with everything that also Heavy Duty comes with in this 50th or whatever you want to call this wave. His gear, like his tack vest, comes from POC Beachhead and Steel Brigade, Delta, and, you know, you've seen it before. So this isn't like new stuff. And then his helmet underneath the Saw Viper helmet is the Pursuit of Cobra, Retaliation Airborne. And at least for me, that's the first place I saw that helmet. So if I'm wrong, let me know, but I'm pretty sure that was first seen with Airborne. He came in a 3-pack for Retaliation. But, you know, he's weird in some ways because, you know, these are some recognizable parts. And I don't like when they use the parts in such a way that it feels like they didn't try. You know, it's so recognizable. This was Beachhead. This is what made Beachhead look so awesome, is this flak jacket, you know? Also, why does he not have a Cobra sigil anywhere? No Cobra sigil anywhere. Not even on the back of his helmet, the top of his helmet. Nowhere, you know? And then you have figures like Roadblock who have him tatted on his freaking, you know, elbows. Because I'm sorry, on his biceps. Jesus, on his elbows. Because he killed so many Cobras or something. You know what I mean? Like, it just is a whole lot of sloppiness with the designs. But, you know, he still came out more on top than many of the others. And I dig that. And he's a character that I didn't have. I actually had the one of the convention exclusive versions. the red, and he was like red and navy blue or red and black, and he had the vest from the Iron Grenadiers from POC. I had 2 of them in my cart around the time that this came, and then I was like, you know what, one will do, you know, and he was free, so free is nice. So yeah, he's more of a win, a lot more of a win than the Cobra Trooper, the female Cobra Trooper. I actually recommend him. Now let's talk about this 3-pack right here. 3-set, Jesus. I've been in the gym a lot, so I'm thinking in those terms. Now, both of these are serviceable figures, but there's some issues I have with him. This is exactly the Slaughter's Marauders Falcon. I like how he looks. He's pretty cool. I haven't had Falcon since the original one back in the day. So this guy's fine. You know, I might switch out his hat for a black hat. Maybe I'll give the black hat to or take the black hat from Flint and give the green hat to Flint. Who knows? Or maybe I'll just buy a black one off of Marauders and call it a day. But he's fine. I don't have any issues with him. I like the fact that he's navy blue and black. Or is this, I think that's navy blue. Yeah, it's navy blue and black with gray. And, you know, the parts work, you know. And the fact that, you know, there's the relationship with him and Duke. And they even use Duke's legs from the POC Duke. I think it's the first version of Duke in Pursuit of Cobra. I like it. I don't have any issues with this. So he's cool. You get to go to the side of good stuff. Mr. Selkirk. I had the original Outback and that's it. Never had another one. I didn't like the 25th anniversary version. I thought he was too small. And then we get this one where he's kind of a Hulk of a person. And to some degree it fits. I'm not going to lie. It fits, but I didn't like the whole battle kata thing. I was like, why would you put that shit on him? So I took it off. You know, yeah, they made the weapons come in silver. So now if you have battle kata roadblock and you just want to switch things up, you have silver parts with the exception of the fist daggers. This is the knife and this is the billy club. So, you know, there's that. He has the big old backpack. I can't remember where I first saw this. I want to say I first saw this with a version of Roadblock. Firefly. It might be the Retaliation one. It probably was a 25th anniversary figure. So, anyway, you have this. You can fit all that shit in there or other stuff. The machete, awesome, because the original had a machete. And this machine gun that he's holding is pretty awesome, too, because the original had this exact same type of one with a thicker handle. Now, when you take off the vest, he has his classic survival shirt on. I like that. It works for me. He doesn't have stupid tattoos anywhere or anything like that. Now, what I don't like about this figure is the lower legs are strange. Why do they do this? You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen that on a Joe. Why do his legs do this? Like, it's as if the upper and lower legs have nothing to do with one another. Like, I don't even know where these came from. They just don't work. I mean, he kind of looks like his legs might be too short, or like, just, I don't know. I mean, like, he kind of doesn't look bad, you know? Standing him up, he doesn't look bad. He stands up straight, even though he doesn't have a swivel in the ankles. But, I don't know, he's just a weird combination of parts. And they stand out, you know? Like, it's shit that you notice, at least for me. Because I noticed a lot of reviewers, they didn't say shit about this guy. They didn't say they had any issues with his... And maybe they genuinely didn't. But I did. No issues with the with the battle kata vest. No issues with the tiny little pistol. He comes with the pistol from the Retaliation Joe Troopers. You know, that tiny pistol. You'd think he would have something a little bit more substantial, considering this is the machine gun that he carries, you know? So I don't know. Maybe it's me nitpicking. Maybe I'm just, you know, trying to find something, you know, negative about him. I still think that, like, when you have the vest on, his head looks too small. As soon as you take the vest off, his head looks properly in proportion with this body. So kudos to them for that. Maybe he wasn't intended to keep that vest on in the first place. So he still comes out a little bit more on top than good old Shooter. Now, Shooter here, ooh, she is a mess. There are things about her that are really awesome. You You know, the fact that she exists is pretty awesome. This case that you can put the disassembled shot or the disassembled sniper rifle in. I think that's awesome. That's like a plus, and you can keep your extra clips in there. For some reason I have two rifles, you know, like the body of the rifles. I don't know why. If TJ, if one of these is yours, let me know so I can send it back to you, because that's what I was assuming. But that's what's in there, you know. So you can see some of the parts. You can see that there is the clip right there, or magazine, the actual rifle body, the buttstock goes right here, and here's an extra silencer for her SOCOM. But, you know, it's pretty cool. The problem was that once you open it up and take the pieces out of the case and you try to put them together and put them in her hand, it kept falling apart. I mean, it's way worse than what happened with, what's his name? Lowlights. Lowlights actually stayed together. I just wanted a more accurate representation of his rifle, so I got the Marauders version. This here is a new sculpt for the Joes as far as I know. I don't remember seeing this anywhere, and I like it. It looks really good. So I ended up gluing all the parts together. Now she can hold it properly, and she can kinda look down the sights. Kinda. This figure's articulation is kind of a mess. I mean, so looking at her hand, she doesn't have those joints, right? So you see that her hand is, I had to really force her hands close. She doesn't have the hidden joints, so it's a pain in the ass to get her to clasp the gun and look down the sights. When you look at her elbow, right, normally the edge portion of their hand, where that little piece sticks out right there, that's where the elbow goes. That part is supposed to jut against the back, right? But look at what they did with her arm, the way it's sculpted. You see that? It comes forward and then it comes up to that, but I don't know, it's just cheaply done. The colors aren't the same. The harness around her upper body is kind of weird. She still has the same issue that the female Cobra Trooper has, in that she doesn't have like a proportionate body type. I mean, I guess to the naked, to the uninitiated, that is a proportionate body. Her torso is just long as fuck. And you know, this is me saying this. I'm married to a girl with a long torso, but it's a long, slender. I shouldn't even say slender because she's kind of thick. I mean, it's still shapely though. You know, there's like a curve. It comes in here, and then her hips are nice and round, you know? So it looks awesome. You know, everything falls in place the right way. On her, you've got her boobs and her upper chest all the way up here. You have all this space, and then you have her pelvis down there. And it just looks weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking, but she looks weird to me. Her and the other one look weird to me. I mean, I'll compare her to like an older figure. This is a reuse of an older body that I'm going to use, because it's right here. I'm going to do a review soon, or overview. But do you see what I'm saying? Look at how small the distance is between like where her waistline starts and where her boobs are. And then look at how high up hers are. Even when you take the you make her lean forward a little bit more, make her you know, diaphragm joint go forward more, you still have this like definite change between where the boot, you know, the solar plexus is, the upper abdomen, and then right here where her waistline should start. On her, it's just a big square. You see that? Big ass square. It doesn't look right. I'll put her in front so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Big old rectangular, it's like square and rectangular at the same time. I don't know, it's just jacked up to me. Not to say that people can't be built like that, but you know, she should look at athletic, because she's the sniper, you know what I mean? Her code name is fucking Shooter. Like, come on, how do you screw that up? So anyway, her costume has like no, I'll keep her out here just so I can play these details against you, or against her. Look at how these sleeves, there's like zippers and there's a built-in elbow pad in there. There's wrinkles. There's like, you know, insignias that are in the right place. They're not just... There's straps. There's a vest built in. You can see the buckles right there. There's pockets built into the suit. And I know it's a different suit. This is Resolute Scarlet's suit. You know, the pockets built in over there. All that stuff. Then you look at this one. Hardly any wrinkle detail. You know, no details. No seams. No buckles or anything. Instead, it's all this large stuff that's been glued on or put on the figure. And to me, it doesn't work as well. I mean, like, the legs are okay, but even the legs, it's like, you know, these... I mean, look. You see the difference? It's such a little difference with, like, detail. You know, they're adding details here, tiny little details. This is what I mean when we talk about how Marauders hiring Boss Fight. You can see that Boss Fight Studios sculpted some of the best G.I. Joe and Cobra figures. This is a testament to that. You can see it. You can clearly see that whoever sculpted this does not have the skills that these guys had yet. They have a place to build from, but they don't have it yet. And it's making the figures suffer. That's good. I don't know what it is. I almost am just like, I can't wait to get the Valkyrie version so that I can make a better shooter, you know? And most of you who are collecting Joes, you should be able to see that we will be able to make a better shooter than this, you know? Just off the bat, because they're black body, and I'm going to show you pictures of that too.
This body is perfect. This armor is also perfect. Any of these three heads I'm going to show you can work in addition to the head that she comes with. Personally, I like this last one, but I'm probably going to use the one she came with. Sniper rifles, the Dragunov or the 50 cal. Either way, you win. You have a perfect version.
The black suit that they made is awesome. The head sculpt on this figure is not bad. It's actually really good. The eyes are looking forward. She has a very natural looking face. It doesn't look like, you know, some weird fetishized brown woman's face. It looks like someone you've seen before. She looks like a very just regular, you know, she's kind of pretty, but she doesn't look overly like sexual like so many people do when they repaint the figures. They got like Scarlet out in the field with like blush and rouge and shit on, and it's like, come on, she's a soldier. She's not gonna be all dressed up like that to go and fight. Maybe when she's not fighting, she can look all L'Oreal and shit, but when she's fighting, she's gonna look like she's fighting. It's part of the whole, you know, equality on the battlefield between the sexes, you know? Your skills got to do the talking. You're not going out there to look good. Let your moves, your skills look good, you know? But anyway, there's things I don't like. For instance, so Mr. Selkirk here has a quick draw holster. It's not huge. I mean, he even has a small gun in there. Why does Shooter have a quick draw holster that's like twice the size of his? Like, look at it from head on. You see how small that is? Look at hers from head on. Look how big that shit is. And it's got, functionally speaking, it's got the exact same functionality as their holster. You've got the fucking silencer right there, and you've got the pistol right behind it. Why did it need to be this big? She does have a gun I haven't seen on the Joes before. She has a SOCOM, which I was actually kind of surprised about because I was like, wow, they're doing new sculpts now. So SOCOM Harder Show. You've got yourself a SOCOM pistol. So anyway, it looks good, right? With the suppressor on it and everything. It's like they literally either were playing Metal Gear or they were thinking about stuff that actually exists, and they did a good job with that. So I don't think that's bad. That's pretty good. She just doesn't like, I don't know. It's just the way that the weapons don't feel like they were, like when the figure was sculpted, these weapons were sculpted, or the figure was sculpted with these weapons in mind. I don't get that feeling from this figure. You know, I get the feeling that she was sculpted with a different set of weapons in mind. I mean, maybe the sniper rifle, that was one of the ones, but like, she doesn't hold things correctly. You really have to make sure that she's holding it. You have to like twist things and, you know, turn it. It's just, you have to do a lot. You know, like, this is, if I don't do my magic, this is how she holds the gun. So you see where her head is, and you see where the gun is. Whereas, like, some of the other characters, we'll use Mr. Selkirk, Outback. Even though he has this tiny little pistol that he can't even really hold, he just does not hold it very well at all. Ugh, this is what I mean. I'm gonna have to find another pistol. I'll be right back. Okay, so I switched, his pistol from this tiny little, emergency pistol. It's like an emergency sidearm to, something with a silencer. So he looks like he's, in the field about to get some shit done. Now, you can see now I actually screwed around with her some more, and I was able to get her to look down the sights of the gun. Just like he can do with no problem. It's one of those things that I'm a stickler for that. I'm not OCD, but it's the one thing that I need. You gotta have that line of sight from the eye to the front, all the way down the length of the weapon. Straight down the pistol. The Joe Troopers do it the best. Freaking, what's her name? Resolute Scarlet. She does it the best. For now, since I don't have Resolute Scarlet out, off my shelf, I'm going to use Miss Fairborn here as my example. Because whatever, she has a little laser pistol, and I'll show you. She'll even hold it with the opposite hands of them, like in her left hand. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It's like the arms were measured to be the right size, and then just making her aim it, it's just aim down, it's perfect. I mean, look at that. Look how beautiful that is. And she doesn't even have the special joint. I think that's why I thought there were female figures who had the added joint, because she can do it with no problem. I mean, look at that shit. Walk into a room like... You know what I mean? Like, that's the way it's supposed to be. And for some odd reason, that's not how it is with the other two, or with Shooter specifically. Like, Shooter should have been perfect. I mean, you remember my review of Rise of Cobra, Cover Girl? Perfect. I mean, she like really could hold her gun the right way. I mean, you can see, look at that shit. It's perfect. Perfect. I have no complaints with the way that body, holds the weapon. I have tons of problems with this because I have to do so much to get it to do what I want it to do, and I don't like that. She's just a very blah figure. Even her color scheme, I'm not against black. I'm surprised the amount of people who, haven't said anything, I guess because, Snake Eyes wears black, so if the character's wearing black, then that's super awesome. But she needed something else to make her a little bit more awesome. You know what I mean? Maybe a trench coat, maybe a futuristic kind of jacket. See, that looks dope right there. That looks like she's holding the gun the right way, But that's the wonders of photography. If you position your figure the right way in front of the camera from the right angle, you can make them appear to do things that they can't actually do. It's kind of like when I did the review of the not Steel Brigade, Ultimate Duke from Retaliation, and I was able to fake him holding his bazooka with both hands. But long story short, she's a mediocre figure. It's nice that I have her finally because she represents a good moment in G.I. Joe history, and she might end up being a hand-me-down for my son because she belongs to the OG 13. She would make 14 or 13 if you don't have, one of the original figures. All in all, I'm disappointed with these guys because there's so many things. I mean, look at that. Do you see that? Look at the loop. Look how small this thing is. And look at the loop. It's just weird. It's like who it's the most toy looking of all the Joe things that I've picked up in years, you know. She looks the most like a toy. I guess that's the thing I should have started with, you know. And I don't understand why that's the case, and I don't like that. There's zero imagination in this design, you know, considering in the comic we only see her face. You had all the room for creative license. But anyway, I've bitched on long enough. I just wanted to get these guys out of the way. That's what I think about these 50th anniversary guys. If you see them, this 3-pack is not the worst. You can find ways to make it good. This pack with Saw Viper and her is only half good, so I would get him. If you really have to have a female trooper or a Cobra trooper, then get, you know, the pack for her. They also come with a bat. I have bats, so I'm not even focusing on that. So anyway, that's it for me. You've been great. Peace outside.